All right, class, let me ask you, how do you destroy one of the biggest gaming franchises in the entire world? Ooh, me, Sensei, me. Yes, Jimmy in the front. Give it to Microsoft and Xbox. Okay, look, I know that intro might have sounded harsh, but look, I'm tired of seeing all this drama with Xbox and everything and not having the respect for the games that they make and everything. It is absolutely just appalling to see what has happened to some of the greatest games in the industry to just see nothing now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Halo has fallen from grace. Halo, dude, there's no way you can say that Halo is still where it should be. No, Halo has fallen into the deepest pits of hell right now. Other games and everything that Xbox has, at least our first party stuff, which by the way, we are talking about. I'm not talking about them just simply being the publisher and letting the other developers or other teams make those games and post their games wherever they are. But first party games, Xbox is dropping the ball hard. And this next little bit that we're going to talk about here in this video today just proves, and if there's any truth to this, if there is any truth and this actually does happen, it just goes to show that Xbox is incompetent when it comes to managing and leading these teams to make these games and allow these games to be the way that they should. And it's just irritating to see what they have done with their games and first party studios. What's going on, everyone? Tyler here at 5-9 Direct, and today we have to talk about this thread and these rumors and these leaks, if you want to call them that, when it comes to what is happening over at 343. And I'm not talking about the layoffs, by the way. We already know that. We covered that in the video. Go check it out. It's in the top right corner there. But we have a lot to talk about when it comes to what is happening over at 343 and what some insider stuff is being said. And there's a lot of credible sources when it comes to this. And if any of this happens, I've officially just given up on Xbox. And again, I know, especially on this channel, it can be a meme sometimes with me and the other creators here when it comes to talking about Xbox. It might sound like we're PlayStation fanboys and whatever Nintendo fanboys are called. But when you look at what two of the three companies make, you can see why. So I want Xbox to succeed because that creates competition, which allows for better games overall. But this is just getting out of hand. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about all that stuff today. So if you happen to be new to the channel though, make sure you leave a like and leave a comment down below. Do you think this is actually going to happen? Do you think any of this is real? What do you think is the future when it comes to Xbox for both 2023 and the future going forward? And if you happen to enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe as always. And if you don't like the video, leave a dislike. Let us know down in the comments below. What are your personal thoughts? Let's have an actual conversation. Let's talk this out. We're all humans here. Let's do it. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into the video. Let me ask every single person here a quick question. If you are old enough to have done this or you have done this beforehand, does anyone remember going over to your best friend's place, taking a sleepover maybe on a Friday or Saturday night, playing Halo 2 till 2 or 3 in the morning, heck, not even having sleep sometimes, playing Halo 2 Legendary Mission 3 Metropolis, getting into the tank, going across the area, trying to complete it, getting destroyed 9 times out of 10, but when you finally did it, it was awesome. Does anyone remember playing Fable? Does anyone remember Gears of War? We haven't had a good Gears of War game in quite some time. What's going on? The last good game, honestly, I can say that is from Xbox. Again, I am not talking about, indie developers who have used the power of like Game Pass or anything like that, which is an awesome thing to, develop or to get the money for your game and publish it so everyone can play it and everything like that. I'm not talking about Xbox simply just being the publisher and then this game goes to either multiple platforms or only to Xbox or anything. I am talking about first party games. So we are talking Gears, Halo, Forza, you name it. Where the heck are these games? Where have they been? Well, as we all know with Halo Infinite, it's down there. It's down there somewhere. I don't even know where it is because we can't find it. Yes, I know Forge mode came out and it's actually somewhat done some good for the game, but based on the Steam numbers, not so much. Now, I know people are gonna be like, dude, more people play it on Xbox and everything, which I get, and Xbox will never release those numbers or anything like that. So we're never gonna know that, but it is just so irritating to see some of these beloved franchises not get the respect and the time and development that they need. And I know you can say that, well, Halo Infinite got 6+ years. Yeah, but management, we already know that. None of this, by the way, is directed at any of the developers. They're there to do a job, and they have a love and a passion for trying to make these games. But the higher ups, whether it's within something like 343, at Xbox, or heck, even at Microsoft, they are really incompetent when it comes to being able to lead their teams and make sure that things are done in a good way, or not trying to simply follow trends, because that's basically what Halo did based on everything that we have seen over the last couple years come to light, where people are saying, well, they wanted to take Halo in this different direction. We want to do this BR thing. Oh no, we went back to normal Halo and everything like that. And then they obviously have all the breaking the promises and everything, not having co-op, at least couch co-op, not being able to have a good roadmap going into 6-month seasons and everything like that. And again, it hurts to see this so much, because in a perfect world, we would have a really good Halo game. We would have a great Gears. Forza, as like I said before, is doing great, but that's one game. Where's Fable? Where's all these other games that are going well, and when they're releasing and everything like that? And then those would be paired up against Sony's games, Nintendo games, and then those would push each other to make even better games. And it's just not happening anymore. And it's just like, Xbox, what are you doing? So as you guys know, when it comes to what Microsoft has done in the last 24 to 48 hours at the time of this recording, on January 20th, 2023, Microsoft has laid off over 10,000 employees across every department basically, but a lot of it actually fell on a couple of the Xbox areas, including a lot from 343 and even Bethesda, when they literally have a game that is supposed to be the big one, make it or break it, and they fired people from there. I don't know what's going on there. That's just honestly weird and everything like that. So there's been a lot of backlash when it came to seeing that. And by the way, and real quickly, I do want to say to all the developers that have been laid off, I am super sorry for this happening, and I hope you're able to find something really soon. If there's anyone out there who happens to be watching this video, if you have the power to either connect somebody or to reach out to them, please do. There are a lot of amazing people that were unfortunately laid off because of, well, Microsoft's incompetence to actually, lead in everything like that. So as most people have already seen on Twitter and everything like that, one of the main senior multiplayer designers from the Halo days, Patrick Wren, actually went onto Twitter and was like, these layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of these is incompetent leadership, literally what I just said, on top of Halo Infinite's development causing massive stress for those working hard to make Halo the best it can be. And he's absolutely right. We've talked about it multiple times on this channel. Xbox has a problem with being able to actually lead their teams, to lead the workers, lead the contract worker, everyone under them or anything like that. And I obviously know there's also that side part to it where they rely way too heavily on contract workers. Not to say that those contract workers are not supposed to be hired or that they don't deserve it, but instead of being contract workers, hire them to actually be employees there. I know there are a lot of companies and everything cheap out because they don't want to pay benefits and everything like that, but Microsoft makes billions, no, scratch that, trillions of dollars. That's a capital T right there. And they cheap out and do this. And because of that, that has caused massive issues, especially for Halo Infinite. Now, of course, this is all information that we already know, but guess what? Less than 24 hours after all of these tweets came out bashing Xbox, all of the news articles broke and everything like that, we actually got a tweet from a very reliable source, actually, in terms of the track record of a French Twitter account called Bathrobe Spartan. And apparently they found some interesting information out regarding 343, who again was hit the hardest when it comes to these layoffs and everything. And it's worth a read. Now, I will say, obviously, that some of this should be taken with a grain of salt because there are some rumors. But again, this guy actually does have some credit because his track record is pretty good. And two, there's always some truth when it comes to things like this. So it's going to be up on the screen right now. Let's go and take a look at what it is. Now, obviously, it's in French. So let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. It's a quick summary. Again, if you want to check it out, we're going to have the link down in the description below. You can check out the tweet yourself. You can translate it. If you happen to speak fluent French, please let us know if there's any little missing details or things that are not translated properly. As someone here who lives in Japan, I see it all the time where Japanese is auto-translated, and it's like, that doesn't actually make sense. So again, let's go and take a look at this real quick. Summary: 343 has lost around 1/3 of its workforce, both internal and contractors. 2023 plans seem unchanged by this major recap. Focus was and still is on the multiplayer for this year, Forge multiplayer, new seasons, battle pass, new maps, etc. Now, quick side note, if you actually haven't heard already, there's been a lot of talk about them only focusing on the multiplayer going forward, which basically means rip any campaign stuff for right now. Again, we're going to get into it just a little bit here, which potentially could have some decent campaign stuff going forward in the future. But when I say future, I mean like at least 4 years, if that, because again, this is supposed to be a 10-year game. And yeah, they've already dropped the ball obviously hard on that one, but let's continue on. It states, before Bonnie Ross quitting, Joseph Staten with a small team was preparing to ship multiple contained campaign DLCs to expand its narrative over the months and even years. This plan was stopped when Pierre and the new key roles came in after Ross, as they've seen too much complexity in creating new contents for campaign. Plus, it was not profitable enough for them to sustain. So they decided to completely halt them in favor of focusing on multiplayer only for the time being. Like I simply just stated beforehand, no campaign DLC. And if you've played the campaign for Halo Infinite, you know it ends on a cliffhanger. There is some good stuff here actually in that campaign, especially with the world and everything and the stuff that they could actually improve upon and go to new areas within the ring and everything. But no, because it's not profitable enough, and because they dropped the ball hard and they're not making as much money with the multiplayer because of their lack of content and everything, guess what? That suffers, the game suffers, and we suffer as players as well. And again, like I've stated before, this is not on the devs. This is all on the higher ups and their inability to actually manage and lead like they're supposed to. But anyway, let's continue on with the bullet points. Halo Infinite largely missed its financial and overall goal and led Microsoft's decision to halt 343 active development, transforming or regress them into a franchise coordinator. Okay, so that's interesting. We're gonna get into that in just a second here. This means that other than supporting Halo Infinite multiplayer, their role would be limited to make sure different external studios will create further Halo projects, direct sequels to Infinite Story, or spin-offs of different genres, respecting the established lore and fundamentals for the IP. Now that right there, that actually to some extent sounds good. A lot of people have been calling for having either new developers or something like that to be able to work on Halo and see what they can do and everything like that. But the other side of it is that as much as 343 has dropped the ball, again, that's on the leadership. The actual developers there and people who have worked on the Slip Space engine, which we're going to do in a second here, have the knowledge and experience. And if they are not going to be there with these external teams, guess what? This exact same thing's going to happen over again, where they need to try to figure out what was done beforehand, and then they're going to try and work on this. And if Microsoft still sticks with their contract workers only, unfortunately, the same thing is just going to repeat itself. We don't know exactly what these external studios are and how much Microsoft and Xbox are going to have say over who works there or anything like that. Are they going to be bringing in something like the equivalent of Insomniac or something like that? Or is it more just going to be like they're going to create a small side team and that's going to work on it or something? We just simply don't know, obviously. And again, I know these are all rumors and everything like that, but I would bet some money that this is actually going to happen. Let's continue on real quick. Slip Space engine is still in place along with its internal engineers, but it will be opened up to learn and use for all external studios working on the IP if they want. See, that's a little weird in my personal opinion, because if it's saying if they want, and again, I know these are all rumors, but if it's saying if they want to, if you get a bunch of people saying, no, we don't want to work on the Slip Space engine, then how are you going to make external stuff? I mean, are you just going to port that stuff over to something like, I don't know, Unreal Engine 4? And now all of a sudden you've got this campaign DLC stuff that looks completely different, or at least somewhat different compared to what the Slip Space engine is making. Again, I know a lot of people actually don't think the Slip Space engine is that good and that everything should be moved over to something like Unreal 4, but I don't know. It's definitely kind of weird. But anyway, let's finish up with the last point, and then we're going to get into my personal thoughts and opinions on this. In this sense, 343 together with Microsoft Game Publishing started contacting and contracting with external studios to create future Halo experiences together since 2020, apparently, also with the aim to reduce, optimize costs and budgets. So basically, Halo as we know it has arrived to an end. If these claims are true, as generally the source provided in the past has done good things, this means that we will wait a very long time to see a proper sequel to the Master Chief story on Zeta Halo, while having to see Halo Infinite's multiplayer still support and the Halo franchise expanded with smaller projects. Each of these have a different spin on the universe by different studios and artists. And then he makes a little comment down here saying, considering that all I wanted in the near future was to continue the Halo Infinite campaign in different biomes, enemies, and situations, all of this is just sad for me to read. So again, that's his own personal take in terms of reading all this information after he translated and everything. So again, if you want to check out the entire link and link to all that stuff, it'll be down in the description below. Check it out. Now, with everything that has been said here, and with everything that I talked about being a kid when I'd go over to my friend's place and play Xbox games and everything like that, especially in Halo 2 campaign and everything like that, this is part of it is a little good, actually, in my opinion. I will say that if they are searching for people outside of Xbox to actually work on the Halo franchise, that is great. But that is going to take time, and I mean a lot of time, for them to either learn the Slipspace engine or have to try and fight to see if they even want to continue to use that engine or anything. And all at this time, you have this shattered team essentially of 343 that's only working on the multiplayer, but they've lost all of these contractors and internal workers as well, people who have been there for quite a long time. And now they're continued to expect to make this multiplayer, or at least make it better somehow. How, Xbox? How? You guys are spending $70 billion to try and get Activision Blizzard. Yet you just threw these guys to the wolves. And again, I know business stuff and recession and everything that's going on right now. I know, I get it. But for $1 trillion company, it's just, it makes me shake my head. And I guarantee you at the same time, though, Microsoft is looking at Xbox right now and going like, and we've been throwing billions of dollars at you guys and nothing is sticking. Even your Halo franchise is not sticking, which has not really done that well since you got it from Bungie, essentially, like that. Now, the question that I have is, for something like Starfield and Redfall, that these games that are supposed to be coming out this year, they're supposed to come out last year, which was supposed to be the year before that, and save Xbox and everything like that, if these don't reach the profits and the money that Microsoft wants to have made from these, what the heck is going to happen with Xbox? Are they going to do the same thing to Bethesda, which they kind of already done a little bit? They did lay off some people from Bethesda, but are these other teams going to get more layoffs just because they don't hit some record revenue spike or something like that? Which we all know, and it's kind of obvious in my opinion, that a lot of the stuff when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox, they are trying to get a lot of this live service money that others are getting from something like Fortnite and everything, or Call of Duty. I mean, that's why they want Call of Duty, right? They want to try and get that. And I also know they want to try and get like Candy Crush from them and everything like that, because that's a lot of mobile money right there. That's very lucrative for them. And I mean, that's why Sony bought Bungie. They are really well known for their live service game with Destiny. I don't know if that's going to translate over to some good games, but we'll have to wait and see. So Microsoft and Xbox are going to be looking at least the higher ups are. And if they don't hit that, whether Halo doesn't make a full recovery and is able to start making some of that money back, or something like Starfield or Redfall is not going to be able to make that money as much as they want to, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now, I don't think Xbox is dead, obviously. I don't think, you know, it's going to die out. It's only going to be Sony and Nintendo after this. I don't think anything crazy like that. But it is just so sad to see what leadership has done with these franchises and these games. Because like I said at the very beginning of the video, what the heck has Xbox published first party? I am talking first party right now. What have we seen in the last like 3 to 4 years? Forza games? Okay, great. That's awesome. Those are amazing games. What else? I'm seriously waiting. I seriously am. I mean, if Starfield and Redfall are able to blow our minds, great. But I personally don't see Redfall being able to be more popular than Starfield, especially if Starfield is a buggy mess. And let's be perfectly honest, it probably is. But regardless, let's just take that away. We already know it's gonna be a buggy mess and everything like that. But Starfield really has to hit it out of the park. It really has to. I think for Microsoft to then come down to the Xbox guys and be like, yeah, so you only made this much money? Why are we still funding this stuff? And then they start even making more cuts. They start trying to go even more live service stuff, and we can't get games that we personally would want to see as players, and everything, including Halo, it's turned into live service BS. We all thought Halo couldn't get turned into it. Well, guess what? That's what Infinite is right now. And again, look at the numbers, look at the players there. It takes me here in Tokyo, Japan at peak hour times on PC 15 minutes to get into a match. It is ridiculous. And I refuse to wait that long to get into a multiplayer match. And it makes my blood boil. It seriously does. all those times that I would over to my best friend's house when I was a kid to have sleepovers, whether it was on a full weekend or just for one Friday night or Saturday night, we would be up late all the time playing on his Xbox. I mean, granted, we didn't only play first party games. We played some sports games and everything like that. But regardless, it was just fun to be there. And Xbox used to be this revolutionary thing. They modernized how online gaming is and everything like that. And now they're just like this, essentially. It is so sad to see. And I wish that there was somehow be a wave that could come in with the proper people who know what to do and to help them and to start making Xbox the way it used to be so it can properly compete and everything. Because all they're really doing right now is just buying up everything. They're just buying up Activision, or at least trying to. I don't know what's going to happen with that personally. I have no stake in that. But they're just buying up all this stuff instead of trying to let their developers and their teams make their games that they want and then make that reputation. That is one thing Sony and Nintendo have been able to do, not flawlessly, but really well. They've been able to take a look at these games and be like, you know what? These have worked, or maybe this one didn't work particularly as well, but they continue to move forward. They continue to improve things. And guess what? Those teams and developers now are super well known. Those IPs, those franchises, they're super well known within both of those areas, and they're working great for the most part right now. Yeah, some things like Pokemon and everything like that on Nintendo side, but whatever. Overall, Xbox needs to get its crap together. And again, leadership, not developers. This is all on leadership, just like all those tweets and everything I've said, and they need to do better. But what are your guys' personal thoughts when it comes to these particular rumors? Do you think it's going to happen with 343? Other Xbox areas, developers, teams, you name it? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments as always. And if you happen to enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new, or if you did not like the video, leave a dislike and let us know what we can do better in the future to make these videos better. I've been telling with 5-9 Direct. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. It hurts to see what Xbox used to be and what they've become, unfortunately. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. Anyway, I've been telling with 5-9 Direct, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.